If you're currently separated, I know you're going through a really dark time. And what you want more than anything is just to see a little light at the end of the tunnel. But here's the thing, most positive signs that are talked about online are misleading because real signs of reconciliation are often counterintuitive and easy to miss. How do I know this? Because I've helped many men navigate separation successfully. And what I've seen from working with hundreds of men is there are 6 genuine signs that your wife may be open to working on the marriage. This first sign might shock you. She's expressing anger. Your wife's anger might be the best news you've had in months. Most men think though that when she expresses anger that she's done with the marriage, but here's why they're completely wrong. When your wife shows strong emotions, even negative ones like anger, it means she still cares enough to be emotionally invested. The real danger sign is when she feels nothing at all. Think of emotions like a thermometer. When your wife shows anger, that's like reading a high temperature. There's still heat and energy in the relationship. But indifference, that's like a frozen thermometer. There's no movement, there's no energy, and there's nothing to work with. So just like a doctor is more concerned about a patient showing no vital signs rather than a patient that's fighting back, you should be more concerned about indifference in your relationship rather than your wife being angry. Number 2, she's becoming more unpredictable. This one surprises most men, but when your wife's behavior becomes less predictable, this can be a very positive sign. One day she's warm, the next day she's distant. Why? Because she's battling between having your guard up and wanting to reconnect with you. The problem here is it can feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster. There are days you feel like you're doing great and you're going to save your marriage, and then there are days where she pulls away, she's ice cold, and you feel like you're doomed. The key to make progress here is to stay consistent regardless of the ups and downs. And the only way to do this is to master your emotions. Now, if you'd like help with staying consistent to give yourself the best chance of reconciling your marriage, enroll in my free masterclass today where I will teach you emotional mastery. The link is down below. Enroll today. Number 3, she's criticizing your changes. Now, you might believe that when your wife criticizes your changes that she's rejecting them, but there's something fascinating happening beneath the surface when your wife critiques your growth. Let me explain. Imagine you're renovating a house where someone stops by daily to check on your work and point out the flaws. It shows that they care about the final outcome. Your wife's criticism are like these daily inspections. If she's pointing them out, it means she still cares about the final result. If she's paying enough attention to critique your changes, it means she's still invested. A woman who is cold and doesn't care won't bother making a comment. The key here is how you respond. Stay consistent in your growth rather than getting defensive. Number 4, she's maintaining family connections. Now, most common separation advice will tell you to watch out for these big romantic gestures, but they're missing something crucial because it's actually in the small family connections that reveal your wife's true feelings. Think of family connections like bridges. During separation, many bridges get burned. But when your wife maintains even small family connections like consulting you about the kids' schedules or sending you updates and pictures about the kids when she doesn't have to, or maintaining certain family traditions despite the separation, she's keeping certain bridges intact. These bridges are a path forward to possible reconciliation, even if she doesn't feel like she's ready to go there yet. Number 5, she's asking about your changes. If your wife is curious about the personal work you're doing, this is a really positive sign. But don't make the mistake that most men make by trying to rush the process of rebuilding trust by overselling or self-promoting their change. The key here is to stay consistent, which offers your wife long-term evidence that your changes are real and permanent. Number 6, she's taking longer to make big decisions. This last sign is counterintuitive but powerful. If your wife is taking longer to make big decisions about the marriage, most men panic because they just want to get across the finish line and reconcile. But here's why slow decisions are actually the best news you could hope for. Think of decision making like jumping off a diving board. When somebody's certain they're going to get up onto that diving board and they're going to jump straight off. If you're uncertain, you're going to pace back and forth before you jump. It means you're reconsidering everything. Your wife's hesitation are like those steps back and forth. She's weighing up the consequences rather than taking an impulsive leap. If she's slowing down the divorce process or taking time on major decisions, this is a positive sign. What's key here is don't push her. A rushed reconciliation isn't going to be in either of your best interests. Continue focusing on yourself and be patient. Now, here's something crucial to understand. Looking for these signs can actually hurt your chances of reconciliation if you're not careful. Why? Because focusing too much on her behavior keeps you in a reactive state and on an emotional roller coaster. Now, if you're currently feeling like you're on an emotional roller coaster because your wife is sending you mixed signals, you need to watch this next video.